Hello everybody, my name is Nicola and welcome back to my channel. This is the Frugal Cottage where we talk all things money to help you on your financial journey. And this month is all about investing here at the Frugal Cottage, to do with how to get started, what to look for, what strategy to pick. So don't forget to hit that like and subscribe button, and let's get started with today's video. So today's video is all about the different accounts that you can get to invest in here in the UK, and which one should you choose, which one would be right for you. There are 3 different accounts you can get in the UK that will help you or let you access the stock market and invest in those stocks and shares if you would like to. There are 3 very different accounts. They all have their kind of pros and cons. So I'm going to talk through them and maybe suggest like a hierarchy for which one you should look at. As always, I'm not a financial advisor, so please do your own research. So here we go. So there are 3 main options to invest in the UK. The first one is a stocks and shares ISA. So if you've watched my videos before, you will have heard me talk about a stocks and shares ISA a lot. That is what I have all about early retirement investments in, and I'll leave a link below to our recent video about dividends that cover that. But essentially a stocks and shares ISA is the first option to talk about. Now, ISA stands for Individual Savings Account, and it is a tax-free account that you can have your investments in. So it's a stocks and shares individual savings account, and this is one of the ways in which you can invest in the stock market. And there are lots and lots of different platforms that you can have a stocks and shares ISA with. Mine is with Hargreaves Lansdown. I find the website easiest to navigate. Their fees are slightly higher than some others, so make sure you do your research before you commit to joining one. You can currently put £20,000 per tax year into an investment ISA. So that is kind of a limit that you can reach. Once you've reached the £20,000 within a tax year, you cannot add any more until the next tax year starts. So tax year is from April to April and you get that amount. The bonus of stocks and shares ISA is the fact that it is a tax-free wrapper. So if you earn any dividends or any capital gains, then that is not taxed, i.e. you don't pay any income tax on that. So any income that you make from dividends or capital gains is not taxed if you have it within a stocks and shares ISA. I'll leave a link below to the basics of making money through the stock market. Check that out after this one to explain what that means. If you already have a cash ISA, you can transfer that to a stocks and shares ISA. You have to fill in a form to do so, so that you don't lose your kind of tax allowance of that £20,000. But that is the first option, the stocks and shares ISA, and that is one of the tax-free options. The second option, which is also good in terms of tax, is what is called a SIPP, a self-invested personal pension. This is a type of pension where you make your own decisions as to where your money goes and where it's invested. So pensions generally are invested into the stock market, but a self-invested one means that you make that decision yourself. Pensions are meant for retirement, so you can't access the money in this account until you are 55. At the moment it will go up to 57. Pensions and tax rules change all the time, so you do need to keep an eye on that. But if you are self-employed then and therefore don't have a company pension because you're not with an employer, a self-invested personal pension should be something that maybe you should consider, because you need a pension of some description. But a SIPP is also good for kind of tax relief, but you can't access the money. At the moment it's at the age of 55, it will go up to 57 I think in 2028. With a stocks and shares ISA you can access your money at any point. In a SIPP you need to wait until your retirement age, because that's the whole point of the account. The third is a fund and share account, which is like a flexible account that you can have, which means that you can invest. It lets you buy and sell and hold things in the account in the same place. The only kind of maybe downside to a fund and share account, or general investment account they're sometimes called, is the fact that this is not a tax wrapper. Therefore you are taxed on any dividends or capital gains outside the allowance on anything that you choose to have as income. It should be, I suppose, for me, I think that the kind of the general investment account, and if you've watched my experimental portfolio update, you'll know I have one of these, should be like the last thing you have. The first one should be, I think, the stocks and shares ISA, because that's your tax-free allowance. It's £20,000 limit, which for most people, and me included, is like very much an unattainable number. I think that if you can save £20,000 in a year on top of everything else to do with life, then you're doing pretty well. But that kind of should be first, then perhaps the SIPP, because you know, anything that you can use to boost your pension pot is not a bad thing, and then the general investment account should be maybe last in the kind of the hierarchy of all of these things. But like I said, you need to do your own research for that. I have my stocks and shares ISA with all my investments in there to do with that early retirement goal. The reason for that is I didn't have an ISA beforehand, so I now have one, but I don't have to pay any tax or capital gains on any income that it provides. So because I'm looking at getting dividend income, all of that dividend income that I get from that is not taxed, and because that dividend income is part of our bigger plan to retire early and live off that, I want to be able to keep as much of that as possible. So because it's not taxed, I get to keep that. If it was in a general investment account, like my free trade portfolio is, I would be taxed on that. I'd have to fill in a self-assessment form and be taxed on that. And that sometimes seems like, especially with the numbers that we're aiming for, that would be quite a lot. So definitely look at your options in terms of the tax-free stuff, because you know, that means that you get to keep more of your hard-earned cash than the government. You need to do your research. Like I said, I have my investment ISA with Hargreaves Lansdown. I did my own research before I started, and I found that the website, in terms of like easy to navigate information there, was one of the best ones around, but they do have slightly higher fees. So just make sure that you kind of read all the information and make that decision. Banks also do all of these options, but banks tend to have even higher fees, so just watch out for that so that you're getting the best place for your own investments. So to recap, there are 3 different types of investment accounts that you can have in the UK that will allow you to invest in the stock market. The first one is a stocks and shares ISA. It has a £20,000 limit on there, but it is tax free, so you don't pay any tax. The second one is a self-invested personal pension. Again, there are lots of tax and pension rules to do that, and you cannot access the money until you are 55, and it will change to 57 later on. But again, that shields you from tax, and there are certain benefits to putting money into a pension. And the third type is the general investing account. So that's anyone can have one of those, and it can use the same way, but you are taxed on any dividends or capital gains that you have in there once you reach the allowance for those. So have a look at your own research, have a look around, look at the different websites, look at the different fees and what they offer. Some companies offer different things. Some companies offer fractional shares, for example, some of them don't. It is up to you where you invest your money, but let's get you started on your investment journey. Like I said, this month is all about investing here at the Frugal Cottage, and hopefully this gives you some insight into the type of account that you could have your own investments in. Once you've got that account, that's just like a wrapper for you buying into these different companies and having it all in the same place. That's all that means. As always, thanks for watching. Don't forget to like and subscribe. Leave any comments down below. Any questions that you have as well, leave them down below and I will try and answer those, or point you into the direction of where you can find the answer for yourself. As always, thanks for watching. Don't forget to like and subscribe, and I will see you again very soon.